Hello everyone! Today we will be casting the Collection of Ashes World Championship Round 1 Mitch versus Shadowfire. I'm just going to post the link in the Discord and we will be ready to go. Yes. Here and media. Where is media? There it is. Alright. Alright, so the game is going to start. As always, I will be looking at the chat on my phone. Well, as always, as whenever I try to keep that in mind. But I might miss it. So, like, if there's someone in chat, please do comment if you want me to look at the chat in general. The other thing I forgot to set up is I need to get their deck lists. Luckily, I got them both on my own. Here. Yeah, no, those are modified. Never mind. Alright, we got EB Fritz in the lobby and Charlotte in the lobby. Shadowfire has rolled 4 basic dice and so will choose who starts with the first player token. So I suppose I should start by doing a little recap of what decks they are playing. If you haven't, check out Treatment's deck reveal with Shadowfire. They had a lot of insights on the decks that were going to be played in the collection. So on one hand you've got Mitch, who is playing a very turbo Chimera Roland deck, looking to assemble the Reborn Chimera as soon as possible. So in round 1 he will try to get 3 discoveries and then use an Era's End to immediately get the payoff, the 3 pings from the red raindrops, as well as the Reborn Chimera. And then his goal is to continually refresh the Chimera and kill the opponent fairly quickly into round 2 or round 3. On the other hand, Shadowfire has an Aradel Cinder Spirit Creeper deck with Time Hopper and Seafoam Snapper. It's a mid-range deck, a lot of interaction, lots of very cheap cards, a lot of tempo in Accelerate, for example, but as also obviously in Cinder Spirit and Time Hopper, which are side action threats. Mitch was not sure how the matchup could go in our match because I played against Mitch because I have the Shadowfire's deck was my idea at first, so we also played the matchup and it could go either way. So this will be interesting. Shadowfire started on Huntmaster, turn 1, and then Mitch played the Generosity to draw 3 cards, and then Shadowfire directly attacked with the Panther Spirit with Guide for 2 damage. I am expecting Shadowfire to run probably all 4 books, or to forego 1 book for a Raptor Herder for a little bit more damage. Mitch has played the Discovery he started in his hand. And what did he discard? Plays Discovery. He discarded a Cerulean Diver book. And then he played in New Ideas. Shadowfire played Summon Indigo Creeper, which creepers are a bit of a liability, can be a bit of a liability in the face of Era's End. For those who remember at the time, I wasn't there, but I've heard about it. Back in the days of Hope Creeper terrorizing Ashteki lobbies, people would try to tech for it with Era's End without synergy, just as a hate piece. So it's going to be interesting here because Era's End here has already a lot of value. But if you can catch a creeper with it, it's going to be even more powerful. Or if you can catch the thorns that come out of the seedling, same thing. Alright, so Mitch has played Twilight Alchemist, raising up his time dice and filtering some cards. Shadowfire has activated the Summon Indigo Creeper book and put the Indigo Creeper down into the battlefield. And now he has 4 time dice and 1 nature die. I don't know if he is planning to use Water Blast. But if he does, he cannot play Raptor Herder with it. We see Summon Seafoam Snapper coming down on Mitch's side. This is very useful to clear out your Chimera if you want to summon a new one. And we see Shadowfire's Seafoam Snapper come down. I'm going to open both discards. Right, I need to check in OBS. The discards here look good, perfect. And I completely forgot to check the chat. Sorry, guys and gals. Is anybody in the chat? Can I see the chat on my phone? I cannot. I need to go in YouTube the app. Hey, Befrit's in the chat. Hello. I have an echo in the audio. Oh no. Why would there be an echo in the audio? Is it just the room? Our room is like, it's trash for the audio, right? Like it's all like stone, not stone, I forget what the word is, but cement, I think. Yeah, like the walls don't absorb sound at all. And I don't really have anything to hang a blanket. Like if I was recording and I didn't have my camera, I would like put a blanket over my head probably. Like I'm streaming, so this is impossible. Alright, sorry, I completely forgot to keep track of the game. So after Shadowfire plays his Summon Seafoam Snapper book, Mitch plays Reverberate, Kill the Creeper, and plays Open Memories for probably red raindrops, I would assume. Unless there's another card I'm not thinking of. But I think it's a red raindrop, it has to be. But if it's a red raindrop, does it mean else in his in his hand, looks for more cards? Or maybe he's drawn a discovery from his reverberate, and now he's looking for the third discovery. Maybe that's it. Anyhow, Shadowfire plays a summon Time Hopper, so that last card in hand has to be a Summon Cinder Spirit. There's nothing much that makes a lot of sense. The only other optimization I could see is like starting a Reverberate, hoping to spike a book or something like that, but in his deck he didn't have another Knight or another 2-drop, so besides the 4-book start with the Knight, it would be difficult for him to get up to 10 dice reliably. You don't think it's the room. Is there an echo? You don't think it's the room. Are you sure? Are you sure it's not the you issue? I'm gonna go listen to the stream. Oh, there really is. Huh. I don't know what to do about it. It doesn't sound like, yeah, it sounds like a digital problem, but I don't know how to fix it. I'm gonna kill my game control, so I'm gonna sound a lot quieter now. Has this fixed it? Has this fixed it? EB? Alright, in the meantime, after Shadow has played a Summon Time Hopper book, Mitch has thought for some while and played a Shared Sorrow, discarding Flute Mage and bringing back Open Memories. Wow! This is a spicy one. So, he's probably setting up for top of next round, getting the Chimera. This is not an ideal start. That is a bit unlucky. That means like his hand is probably full of refreshes or something like that. He's hitting a lot of stops. I don't think OBS is reading into too much because what if I add right, does this work? No. Has this fixed it? Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, so I removed the gain control on my audio, so like everything is just quieter. Because right now, like, I'm way below like standard audio. So if you get an ad and you've boosted your sound, it's gonna be booming in your ears. But I don't know. At least the stream isn't crashing, right? Anyhow, so Mitch got Shared Sorrow, bring back Open Memories. Shadowfire has summoned a Seafoam Snapper, eating the Panther Spirit. Mitch plays Discovery, discarding Adrenaline Rush. Shadowfire plays Summon Cinder Spirit and pings the Twilight Alchemist. Mitch passes because he no longer has any dice and he only has 2 red raindrops. This is not good for Mitch. He is going to take a lot of damage here. Good thing though, Mitch does have top of round 2, so he will be a little bit faster to get either blockers in or, no round 1 Chimera. I'm as surprised as you. I think this is a first for me, watching Mitch play this specific version of the deck. In spots like these that, Lava Fear would look really good. But yeah, there's still potential for Mitch to stabilize because Shadowfire does not have a ton of reach outside of Accelerate and Time Stopper. If Mitch can dodge those, there's a very real potential that he can start to clear the board and take over the game. The moment that he can start to pressure Ardell's guard very well, then all of his adrenaline rushes become removal and not just damage. Do let me know if you hear any more audio issues. And also I will try to be careful not to have my mic brush against my clothes. But if it happens, it's not intentional, of course. So now it's a matter of going through the motion. There could have been a small optimization there if Shadow could have saved the die. Instead of pinging the Twilight Alchemist with Water Blast, he could have spent the nature on Cinder Spirit and get that power die to get another token on Hot Master. I don't know if he would have had enough time to use it, but it's a small thing because the Twilight Alchemist was going to die to Cinder Spirit anyways. I suppose it saves 1 life where you don't need to guard. Maybe. But, actually, maybe just saving 1 life on the guard is a good enough excuse because that way, what is happening? Okay. Yeah. Because that way, the alchemist cannot swing into anything to threaten to deal with it with the red raindrops at the end of the round, for example. Do you guys want the deck list? Do you guys actually, I suppose, just EB Fritz, because Charlotte is not in my chat. She only watches treatment. Yeah, and that's going to be a lot of damage. 12 damage to start. And with top of round, Shadowfire would have won, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he would have won because he got in Time Hopper. And outside of Figures in the Fog, Mitch would have been dead. Right now, how does Mitch survive? So he kills Cinder Spirit here with the red raindrops. Then he probably needs to get a good reverberate. That's probably his main way to survive here. Because yeah, it says there are 2 watching because I'm watching the stream. Yeah, not a bad idea. If either you want to do it, or I can do it. Give me a sec. Here I am in my chat. This and yeah, like, there's still a possibility for Mitch to win, but he really needs like Shadow to draw the wrong half of his deck, right? You, like, as Mitch here, you want Shadow to draw like Call Upon the Realms. You want him to draw like 2 shadows. You want him to draw Nature's Wrath, like all the irrelevant interaction basically, and none of the threats. Oh, so Mitch did have the Reverberate. A very heads up play from Mitch here. Might have been last round getting a Reverberate with Open Memories. If he did that, it is such a smart play. If in the replays he did that, that is really impressive. If not, I mean, it's still like obviously the good play to play Reverberate right now. Maybe he just had it in his hand already. I don't know. Anyhow, Mitch uses Exhume to spin up Figures in the Fog and a Sympathy die. I don't know if he has found the third discovery yet. Hopefully he has, because if he has not, it's not looking great. We see Shadowfire getting ready to use Cinder Spirit and activating Time Hopper. Cinder Spirit probably is going to get the token either off of a Die Power, off of Ocean's Gift, or off of a Time Hopper book in the hand. One thing here that I could be interested in seeing from Mitch is Time Magic to deny Cinder Spirit tempo, which could be really important here. Unless he has another Reverberate. If he has another Reverberate, he is still dead to accelerate. He is still dead to accelerate Cinder Spirit Time Power. Oh, but he has Figures in the Fog. So that puts him to 4. So he's still alive. Yeah, Accelerate is really good in that deck. I'm a little bit regretful to only have one in this meta right now in the collection. The second Accelerate would have been better than the first Survival of the Fittest, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, this is not my match. Mitch plays Discovery, discarding the other Seafoam Snapper book. He's pretty much forced to bluff the Figures in the Fog, because like if you don't, you're almost always dead. Right now, at least it keeps Shadowfire a little bit honest, because if he overextends here, there's a very real threat that Mitch just wins if he has enough refreshes, because like if you can get 4 attacks and you cannot block, you're dead. So Shadowfire uses Huntmaster to boost Time Hopper and is probably going to attack all in, unless he is sandbagging a Hopper book, in which case then I suppose okay, no. So he's just going all in. Yeah. Should I ping Charlotte to see if she wants to get in chat? since she's already watching the game. All right. So yeah, there was the figures in the fog here, saving 2 damage, stopping the Huntmaster from dealing damage. And Mitch plays a Twilight Alchemist. I suppose he might be sandbagging an Era's End for when Creeper gets played out. Because like he's not necessarily like in a rush, but these dice he cannot kill anymore anyways. So he might as well just make sure that he doesn't die in this round. Because like Shadowfire still has all 9 of his dice. So there's a risk that Mitch overextends in directly and just dies on the and just dies on the swing top of round. And here Mitch, if he doesn't have more action, might be in a bit of a pickle because he cannot really pass, I think. Well, no, he can because he'll kill the Huntmaster, get the Chimera as a blocker. Top of round, like even Accelerate Time Hopper doesn't kill him. Accelerate Time Hopper, ping the Twilight Alchemist, still leaves Mitch at 1 life. It's not ideal, but it might be still better than going for an Era's End without value. Mitch plays a Summon Cerulean Diver. Alright. So that's another blocker, possibly a redraw, though I don't think he wants to attack with it. Although, now that I think about it, he might want to attack with it because if Shadowfire guards, that means his Chimera is going through, so that's not a bad deal at all. Let me see. I don't remember round 1. Was there a moment where Mitch could have time powered off Cinder Spirit? If there was, that's a bit of a missed opportunity. That was a bit of a missed opportunity. Because Shadow had no other way to recover that threat. Shadowfire plays a Summon Seafoam Snapper. They are both developing books. This is a stare down contest to see who is going to flinch first, who is going to pass or commit to something. Hey, 3 people in the chat. This is probably Charlotte joining. Hello. If it's not Charlotte, sorry. Hello to you too. So Mitch is thinking. I also realized there are no clocks because Shadowfire will not play with clocks in the collection of ashes, just like in most tournaments, pretty much all tournaments, because of his visual impairment, which makes it a little bit harder to play very fast. So I technically here, like, obviously you don't want to abuse it, but like Mitch is not pressured if you want to take time to think. Where did I put my gourd? I need to drink. Alright. I'm going to mute the stream for a second. I'm going to be back. Alright, didn't forget to unmute the stream. And so Mitch does it, he passes. And then Shadowfire plays a Summon Indigo Creeper, possibly baiting out an Era's End. If I am Mitch, I think I just summon a diver. Wait for him to commit to the other creeper. It's like, if Shadowfire tries to pop the seed when Mitch is holding up an Era's End, that is like maximum value, I think. And trading the creepers into the 1/1s isn't particularly good. Yeah. But if I'm Mitch, I'm looking like what does Shadowfire have in his hand. And if I'm Shadowfire, I am definitely trying to figure out if there are two Era's End in there. Because if there are two, that changes a lot. Oh, Time Stopper. That game. Yeah, that game, I don't think Mitch has an out. What does he have in his deck? That could... No, that game, there's nothing. Wow. Yeah. That's a great showing for Time Stopper. That was a quick game. It was 30 minutes? Actually not that quick, but reasonable. It was like a long blitz game. Wow. Yeah, that deck is... Both decks are pretty scary if I had to say. This collection, I don't think there are too many decks I'm happy to have to face. Yeah. Yeah, Shadowfire says Time Stopper is probably the best card from the time set. I would tend to agree, maybe second to Cinder Spirit. In my opinion, Cinder Spirit is so powerful, it's a little bit better than Time Stopper. But Time Stopper is so strong for the tempo. I still need to play more of the new time cards. But it's definitely going to be a good testing ground in the collection because they are so popular. Yeah, it was only 2 rounds, but that's very common with Mitch's Rowan deck. I feel like he often wins in 2 rounds or loses in 2 rounds, or he wins like top of round three. Like I haven't seen a lot of his games go like further than that because he runs so much refreshes. So he got Discovery. Right. But yeah, like this is the fun part of um this is the fun part of double elimination is that like you still have a second chance, and I think that helps reduce a little bit the uh, the variance. Like here, where Mitch got particularly unlucky. Of course, like it's a bit of a the price you pay for playing like in undeterministic first five like this. Sometimes it can come to bite you, but yeah. So Mitch isn't in this chat right now, but if he watches this, I don't think I don't think you have to be worried about like Shadowfire having too much prep time because as you saw like in our testing, even if Shadowfire gets about 12 to 13 damage on you, you can still come back. Arguably, yes, like it helps if you can get the Razan round one because like it already means that you only need like 3 to 4 attacks on Ardell, and it helps clean up the board going into round two. But like I think there's still potential. And also don't think you played like too poorly. Like there, on some level, like your out was that Shadow didn't have the tempo in hand. So I think like playing to your out is perfectly fine in that spot. You're like in a tough spot, so you play to win. You don't play to not lose because like maybe you'd have survived a little bit longer, but maybe you'd have just lost in like a long round three, and it wouldn't have mattered. Does that make sense, or am I just rambling? But I wanted to keep a charm die up. Oh, right, yeah, that could have been good. Yeah, keeping the snake. I didn't think about that. You know what they say at the junkyard? I'm not the junkyard, but they're a friend of the channel. It's snake out. Yeah, use your dice power. Yeah, yeah. Um, um, yeah, as Shadow says, in actual games, it is extremely hard to play flawlessly. There are so many things to think about. And then, like, for a real flawless game, right? Like, you should be thinking about every single game, every single thing your opponent could have in their hand. And, like, at some point, you might just psych yourself out if you get too far into that mindset. And at that point, like, it might just not be worth it. So like I wouldn't be too harsh on yourself for that. And also like on some level, we're just playing for glory points, internet points. There are no stakes here, uh, unless Played Hats has gotten very generous and has provided like tournament support. And even if they did, like it's mostly going to be symbolic, you know. So like I wouldn't be too. Oh, flawless in the term, right? Like yeah. Yeah, I suppose, but like it's kind of to be expected. In a Rowan matchup, it's like the early game is sort of like a control matchup, but you have 120 games on Rowan this year. What? What? I don't have this many games on any PB. I don't even have 100 games on any PB, I think. You have been grinding, my dude. Wow. In this exact variation, you have 40 games. That's like. I think I barely have more than that on like coal in general. But damn, that's crazy. You No, I think I've because like I don't play Rin in casual, so I think I'm at like 70, 80 games, maybe 90. But I'm pretty sure I haven't crossed 100. Yeah. By the way, Evie, you're in chat, right? I'd be very interested to look at the map because like I want to see if Vermilion Sage changes the map. Because I mean, like, Cantrip Ally number 4 to 5, maybe number 4 to 6 could be something interesting. Maybe instead of the Cerulean Divers, and they provide a quick blocker that you might need sometimes. Wait, you guys had a chat? Like, was it? Oh, was it in VC? Maybe. Like, I suppose ideally, like if you want to think about it, like what's the win rate for when you do get the camera out, and what's the win rate for when you don't? Because if the win rate for when you do get it out is less than oh my god, my brain is not mathing today. And I don't do math in school anymore. I'm a musician, a scientist. Yeah, it was in VC, right? But yeah, like if you want to get an above 50% win rate, and assuming that the times where you don't get the camera out, I don't know, like I think this is something you want to get like on a spreadsheet, especially like Mitch, you've got 100 games. It's a bit late right now, but like you could start now, and like in a year, you'll have well enough data to back up the build. If the win rate for when you don't get the camera out round one is like too low, then you really want to make sure that you get the camera out more often, even if that means that once the camera is out, you're a little bit less powerful or a little bit less dead. I don't know. I mean, 2 or 3 odds of doing it are pretty good, But at the same time, like, you could also be running clues, flip over, and like Rise of the Chimera deck. What do you mean, how embarrassing? I don't think it's embarrassing to. I don't know if this what's happened. Like, I think everyone who plays long enough has at least one game where they just didn't draw particularly well and sort of lost to it. So, um, that is how you write insightful. Yes. Hello, there are not in chat, but in the lobby. Um, the game is already over. I'm extending the stream for totally to put ads, of course, right? This is like reaching the 10-minute marks. Yeah. Yeah, you can check it. Yeah. You can do it on Ash. You get yourself a spreadsheet track. Yeah, totally. Not sponsored by anyone. And holy shit! I just realized I've like well, it's a bit too late for now, but well, never mind. I won't say it because like it might just make it even worse. But I'll DM it to you. It's a bit funny and I suppose it's too late because like if someone wants to dox me, like yeah. Anyways, yeah, I don't know who is he going to be playing now. Shadowfire versus Mitch is A11. A11 plays versus B6. B6 is Branches versus Carl. So I mean it would have been tough competition whoever you got, but yeah. That's interesting matchup because I think Burn is a very bad matchup for you. Although you do have a very fast time to kill. Why am I looking at my own decks? This is not where I should be looking. And yeah, like to anyone who was only looking to see the game itself, Go off again. Bye bye. Uh, I don't know. I'm looking at the future matches, thinking about the like thinking about the matchups for my opponents ahead of time. And yeah, you're welcome for streaming. That was fun. Um, it was a very good play, very good game from Shadowfire. A bit unfortunate on the luck side for Mitch. Um, but yeah, um, shout out to EB for doing the map on the build. Shout out to Treatment for helping building Mitch's deck too. And I shout out to both participants. We've got great players in the community. I cannot overstate that. Ooh, you face each other's. Is that true? Ebifrit versus Shadowfire. It is true. Ooh, that's interesting. I don't think I've checked your deck actually. I think it passed early in the stream and I missed it. Adaptodon, Cerulean Diver, Cloudburst Griffin. What is this? Is this is this Frostfire? Yeah, no, it's not Frostfire. 17 allies. But it's the same two books. James, Anabations. What does that mean? Beefrits, what does Anabation mean? Anabasis. Anabasis is the famous work of the ancient Greek professional soldier and writer Xenophon. It gives an account of the expedition of the 10,000, an army of Greek mercenaries hired by Cyrus the Younger to help him seize the throne of Persia. What is the reference here? Is there a neat reference or oh, pings here? Oh. Ah, Charlotte was on D&D. Hope it was fun. Um, you could also interpret it as those who return from the underworld. You could. Why? What does that mean? What's the link with the underworld? Forgot how's it called the underworld. So. Ah, Catabasis is a descent into the underworld. And descent into... Huh? I didn't know. So the guy was named after that, or the thing is named after him? Probably the reverse, I suppose. That's a cool name. Ah, okay. Because there wasn't a disambiguation, so I assumed they would be here. At the Bathis. Right. Where does the word come from? Hmm. So I guess like the guy was named after Nabasis, or it's just a coincidence? Could be just a coincidence. See here. Here is more etymology. Yeah, so they don't have any terminology or etymology. It's in French. Maybe it's different. Oh, no. Français. Ouh, définition et typologie. So I suppose since they're just like very generic terms, I suppose I don't know Greek. Oh wait, I completely misunderstood. Nabasis is not the name of anyone, it's just the name of the work. Oh! Sorry, my bad. That's what I get for reading Diagonal. Should take my time. Yeah, that's cool. The one of generosity, always tricky to play around that. One of you surprise me. No hard removal. Suppose you have a Deep Duelist. I guess the Deep Duelist within James does cover that pretty well. Yeah, actually, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. That's a cool deck. And how's the lineup? Ooh, you're gonna have a hard time against Water Blast. But Focus Diver is going to be very powerful. It's gonna be a cool match. I'm excited to see it. If treatment doesn't cover it, I'm probably gonna cover it. Did everyone just bring like last moment alteration, last moment modified decks? It's like I know I did. Um, I think Shadowfire got some last minute modifications to his decks to his deck. And with treatment, I think. I don't remember what he said. Um, yeah, yeah. So it's also a reason why I was a bit iffy on bringing Frostfire. I knew everyone would have Ice Trap, or like I figured a lot of people who were in tune with like what people liked would bring Ice Trap, and I also knew like there were a little bit too many light swordsmen in the meta for my liking for um, Frostfire, especially the version without Feral Guard, and a mix of things like not being able to race Jessa properly made it a little bit. I wasn't super a big fan of it, basically. I also had a hard time grinding through Focus Diver. Without the reach from Molten Gold and Rune Dweller, it does make it a little bit harder to get under people's more more economy strategies, basically. Yeah, two health units are in a bit of a hard spot right now, but like we're in a strange middle ground in Ashes, right? Like again, I'm bringing this back to Magic because like it's one of the most analyzed card game in terms of game design. So right now, units are allowed to exist without needing to have because like we all kind of see. I don't know if we all, but like I'm pretty convinced that the best thing in the game to do right now is to have interaction that lines up well against what the opponent is doing. It is the most dice efficient thing to do. Um, and wait a second, where was I going with this? Right, if that interaction becomes too ubiquitous, it gets too easy to play it, right? Like if we ever get our sword to plowshare, one die, remove anything for free, I think you will no longer see any unit be played that does not have either an ETB or an LTB, right? Like all your units need to have like something they do, even if they get removed. But right now we're not yet there. But it is a bit of my fear that if the trend continues, right? Like a few years ago, Fester was the best thing to do. Fester and Nature's Wrath. But now we have. No, I have not seen. Oh, you Jamal, you're just. Sorry, I was like second screening you. I was doing some work, so I didn't really see the match. I'll need to rewatch it. Um, yeah, Ashtiki was my second screen there. Um, and the other thing, yeah, right now we are in this spot where units that don't have great ETB or LTB kind of need to have the ability to run away with the game. You see this with like Cinder Spirit. You see this with like or like they need to be like super efficient, I suppose, which also works. But Yeah. So I mean, like that deck in particular is like um, sort of the epitome of this because like you have as soon as you get out of like the early game, you've got recursion for your best removal. So yeah, so both of your games against Ink Master, you won because of absurdly efficient removal. In game one, you had Fort Lightning and Soulfire. Game two, you had Recur, Magnificence, and Reverberate. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean, right? Um, like when Clashing Tempers came out, it was considered possibly the best. Like I personally thought it was a little bit better than Nature's Wrath. I usually ended up playing a mix of both, but I thought it was like really powerful because first of all, like people were still playing one attack units, like 2 die 1 attack units, and the exhaustion on like a 0-2 was really strong. Right now, because of like Paladin and even more low attack hate being printed, like sort of devalues the value of low attack hate because they all push out what they are good against together, right? But like I think Fort Lightning is pretty much better in most cases. It's just more value, right? This is why in Frostfire I've gone to Divine and only run like one Clashing Tempers now because it's too fair. Like I'll spend 2 dice for pretty much only 2 dice worth of value. It's good tempo, but it's fairly rare that it does more than 2 dice. No. And like in a sense, you can see this with a lot of the lesser played interaction spells, where they are still plenty good. They just aren't powerful enough. Like they aren't over the top good enough that you would run them. The likes of Excavate or Juggle. Juggle is on the weaker side. Like Mist Typhoon used to be very good. It's good in the right matchup right now, but it depends, right? In Cold, obviously, it's better because like the card you draw, you can immediately slash, and that gives you like a mini earthquake. That's obviously something great, but right now, Mist Typhoon, if you don't specifically need to protect your swarm at all costs, I'm not convinced that it's better than Nature's Wrath, and even Nature's Wrath, I'm not convinced that you wouldn't be better off splashing Divine or Sympathy, right? Yeah, exactly. Like all my decks that start with those, I start like 3x. Yeah, they're just like sort of auto includes at this point because like I call them in my deck building stage. I call them like dice advantage spells because like you don't really need to work a lot to get them value. It's not like Ice Trap where it needs to line up perfectly, or Fester also needs to line up perfectly, otherwise it's just a fair trade. Most often, they are good enough to bridge you into even killing bigger units at a positive trade. Yeah, sure, Mist Typhoon does combo with those, but at that point you're paying like 3 dice. And then like you will really need your opponent's board to line up perfectly for it. And then it looks a little bit like a sort of like a Phoenix Barrage, but a little bit better against Storm. But yeah. The other thing is also like it's stretching your dice a little bit because you'll need to be an illusion, nature, and either sympathy or divine. Um, yeah. I'm also curious. Yeah, right. Nobody brought Demona. That's interesting. I was curious if anyone was going to try to play Demona post chain. Um, I thought maybe on the rug swept would take the challenge, but he brought a Meoni instead, which I'm not sad to see because like I really like playing Meoni, but I've been fairly down on her. If if on the rug can prove to us that Hypnotize is actually the correct game plan to be on again. That's interesting. I'm probably going to look at it again. Because like lately I was trying to just play Tempo Meoni and it was so hard to break through. Um, Demona? Yeah, Demona was one of the five you considered. I really didn't because I had nothing prepared for her. Um, and I don't really know what Fair Demona looks like. Is it a mid-range deck? Is it an aggro deck? All my pre like discovering Broken Demona decks were Immortal Commander Demona decks. They were very one note, one trick ponies. It was trying to play Fishton in Demona. It worked, but oh, my camera moved. You've got Dutch Angle Fred today. Like treatment in his last stream. You had building a list that bluff dragon round one, so you could pivot into one of those. Yeah, that makes sense, but at the same time, the power of this was that you were bluffing dragon round one. I suppose like there's still power in the ability to have like a 2 mana 3/3. Maybe you play her probably still in like a light swordsman spam shell, but maybe you actually do run a spellboard this time. So maybe you go into nature for like Adapt Dawn, maybe you go into illusion for um Prowler. Like maybe Royal Prowler Demona is interesting because then the Royal Charm can also be used your on your mount to force a trade with a knight. It could be interesting. Um, yeah, it's definitely like Sutherland spam because it's probably just the best thing to do with her. The other thing I considered was like Gates Defender with her, because it's a bit similar where you'll get like a blocker, very valuable, then you attack again, and like it's a fairly beefy body. You can you can block like a 1/1, trade with a 1/1 or like a 1/2, although those are pretty rare, and then it still needs to be killed. So that's a pretty good trade. And it doesn't die as easily in terms of like 2 dice units to use with her. Now that Pally is chained, actually, you could probably use her with get the name Pain Shaman. Pain Shaman, which is very strong into Light Swordsman spam and like Shadow Spirit Gate decks. All of those where Exchange Pain is super good. Exchange Pain healing a unit is very strong, very strong, very underrated. I think Butterfly Monk healing units is also a little bit underrated. Um, like if Butterfly Monk can heal your knight out of range of an attack or heal a Carol Guard, maybe like all these kinds of ideas are also applicable with Pain Shaman. Time Stopper is very good with Demona, yeah, definitely. This has just transformed into a me and EB Fritz hanging out. Do you want to get in VC actually? If you want to chat, if you still have things to talk about, I can end the stream. Unless there were other things you wanted to talk about on the stream. I think I have stretched this out enough to fill the video with ads, make it unbearable to watch. Yeah, an hour 16 minutes, an hour 17 minutes, and the game was only 30 minutes. Let me get back to coding. Ah, you're coding something. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream. I don't think I have an outro. I'm forgetting. Do I have an outro, EB? Are you a loyal listener of Pandora the Panda? Do you have a better memory than me? I think it's something like no, I don't think I have an outro. But I'm gonna verify. Yeah, I'm gonna verify because if I do have one, I'm gonna say it, even if nobody hears it. Bruh, last stream, I ended the stream before I finished my outro. I was just saying like bye bye, but it literally cut like on this note I will say, and then I stopped the stream. Anyways, thank you to everyone who watched the stream or will watch the stream. Thank you to the third PB person who was on the video, unless that just counted myself twice. Thank you, obviously, to the participants for allowing me to stream the game. It was very fun, although a little bit short. I am hoping to see them later on in the tournament. Thank you to Carl for organizing the tournament, being the pillar of the organized play of our community. Thank you for the treatment, for having done the deck reveals, helping me with OBS in general, being like my mentor and all. I suppose I can shout you out in name. Thank you to EB Fritz for entertaining the after stream. And on that note, I will see you later. Bye bye.